Oi, budge!
Welcome to Budge, advice and insights on how to fudge being human. Today, Paul Miles, his daughter Kitty, and I talk about hobbies, strengths and flow, all while we pan for gold. What's the point of hobbies? Why do we do them? Is there any benefit? See if we strike gold in today's Budge, and we welcome your comments and likes.
So far we've made about, like 1 cent out of gold.
And that's the point. Why have I spent $3,000 on equipment to make 1 cent in the gold that we found?
Money.
Superman thing going up and down in the air. Buoyancy is your ability underwater to kind of go up and down no matter how much. Usually people control it through weights.
So we're going to ask him to demonstrate in this dark, scary pool. No.
Instead I wear my Paul Smith t-shirt.
Right, we're doing something different today. We're going out and about, and Paul has just selfishly given his daughter his jumper because it's a bit nippy here after a load of 35-degree days.
Is this a Budge podcast?
I suppose it's a Budge rodcast, yes.
On hobbies.
On hobbies,
Why
like
do we
fishing.
Why do you do weird stuff?
And the other reason Kitty's put that on is if you reveal at the back how excited you were, and there's what looks decidedly like diarrhea up at the back of the shorts, but it actually turns out it's only mud. So we're all rather relieved. So I'll go first and watch out for snakes. Do you want that to help you across the river?
Are you filming?
It wasn't for you, Paul. Look, do you see how he just grabbed that? Poor Kitty's going to drown.
Oh, sorry, you want that for
With one hand he giveth a jumper, with the other he just lets her fall in the river. All right, so we're going to go down and do some gold hunting and talk about hobbies, flow, and what else? Why do we do pointless things like gold hunting? And on the way down here we saw some hares, didn't we? And some roos.
So far we've made about, like 1 cent out of gold.
1 cent, yeah, but
maybe.
But and that's the point. Why have I spent $3,000 on equipment to make 1 cent in the gold that we found? See you later. So Paul's just asked, what is flow? Which is very relevant as we're about to see him flow down the hill there into this river flow. So this is the river at the bottom of my farm. Flow is something named by Mihaly, I think it's how you pronounce it, Csikszentmihalyi, a guy who sadly died a couple of years ago, but worked closely with Marty Seligman in positive psychology. But it's the state you get into. I'm explaining this to Paul, so that's why I'm looking weird now. It's a state you get into when you, when time just passes really quickly, when you're doing something and you're really getting into it. And it's challenging, but not too difficult. And it's doable, but not too boring.
Right, okay.
And you get into flow, and it's when you think, oh my God.
It's like the whole, why does time pass so quickly when you enjoy yourself?
But it's the state you want to really get into when you really excel at work, when you really excel at hobbies. And it's a brilliant thing, and it's something we should all strive for.
You're stuck in the mud.
She's stuck in the mud. All right.
With
Let's get out of the mud flow. Don't push me. I'm just enjoying watching them awkwardly try and get across the mud there with inappropriate footwear. And I got my nice long hunter boots to get me across it. Loving it. So I guess this is going to be about flow, this episode, and hobbies, and why do we do them, and what's the point? And that point we just made about spending fortunes on stuff. I'm not going to help you. I want you to fall in and this to be a fail. The fail army.
Right.
See you later.
Thank you for sunshine.
Kitty.
Was that from Hamilton by any chance?
No.
She's good at repeating Hamilton.
No, it's not Hamilton. It's a song.
That you just made up.
Thank you for sunshine. Thank you for rain. Thank you for joy.
So, Paul, is there anything, we were talking about getting into flow, is there anything that you are really good at that you never used to be good at?
Making sense of your Budge rambling.
Yes, all right. Introductions to Budge. And stuff that used to you really have to concentrate on, but is now second nature to you.
Probably scuba diving. So when you start scuba diving, you have to try and manage what's called your buoyancy, which you can imagine is if you're underwater, it's your ability to go up and down. Like you know, outside of you, it's like the Superman thing, going up and down in the air. Buoyancy is your ability underwater to kind of go up and down, no matter how much. Usually, people control it through weights.
So we're going to ask him to demonstrate in this dark,
Yes.
scary pool. No. So yeah, it's the ability. Why is that? But yeah, you must have to really concentrate to
Yes,
be
when
able
you
to.
start, you have to sort of manage your weights and your breath, and you end up sinking too much or rising up too much. But as you get better, you just kind of do it naturally, and you use your breath way more than you should, because it's not something you should probably do. But of course, if you hold your breath underwater, you can end up doing your lung. So
How many hours would you say you've scuba dived?
I've probably done about 1,000 dives, you know, but most of that, about 800 or 900 of that all came in Australia back in my backpacking days when I used to be a scuba dive instructor. So probably, yeah, so I haven't done a lot of it for like 20 odd years. I do it here and there once or twice a year, but you still kind of just stay good at it after all that time. Yeah?
Keep you being mad in the background. She can't wait to get some gold because she saw some yesterday, didn't you?
Oh, you actually.
But what's interesting?
Watch your shoe. Watch your foot. Don't chop your
What's
foot off.
interesting about what Paul's saying is that he spent so many hours at something that he became good at it. And have you ever heard that phrase, like if you spend 10,000 hours at something, you
Yeah,
become
I think
a
Malcolm
virtuoso?
Gladwell sort of monopolised that, didn't he? I think he wrote a book about it.
What did he?
Yeah, Malcolm Gladwell did. Yeah.
He did. What was it? Thinking Fast and Slow. Was that him?
That's Kahneman.
Kahneman. Yeah, it was Blink.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was actually.
Yeah.
But Malcolm Gladwell writes on this. You do 10,000 hours, so you can get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the weird thing though is you're not going to spend 10,000 hours at anything that you don't enjoy,
Yep.
that you don't get into flow with, and you don't realise you've spent 10,000 hours
that's
at
true.
it.
I've never even thought about the scuba diving getting better at it. You just kind of keep doing it.
But what I've found is that the things that you spend a lot of time at are things that, if you've done a strengths assessment or a virtues assessment or character virtues, they're things that are really relevant to your strengths, that play to your strengths, whether it's an appreciation of beauty and excellence or whatever. Do you remember our friend Mark? He's really good at cooking.
Yes, we've talked about Mark.
Yeah, and but it's not because he loves following instructions. Don't you film me filming
I
you?
just want to film whatever Kitty's doing. Wait to see her chop off her foot as she's digging for.
And then we'll see if we've had 10,000 hours of bandaging. No, you're in trouble. But yeah, and he's good at it because he's he really loves hanging out with people and other people appreciating it and discussing and just being sociable, which is what he's great at, and getting people together. So
is gold panning your flow thing?
Panhandling is my flow. Yeah, it is. Well, actually, I wouldn't say it gets me into flow, but one of the things we noticed yesterday, and we'll film it today, is that I can pan out the gravel really easily, without thinking about it. But
whereas I just dumped everything out of the
you just dumped a pan full of gold straight into the water.
You
were pretty good, Kitty. You got gold first time. So we'll see if we get any gold from this random gravel that we're on that wasn't here a couple of months ago, but the river's totally changed course. But I didn't realise I'd got good at it, and it was second nature, and I don't even think about it. But I don't think it's flow I'm getting into particularly. I love being in nature, but I'm trying to work out why I do something that's utterly pointless and to relax.
I thought you did it to become as multi-zillionaire and find that.
No, like I said, I have spent more than $3,000 on equipment and probably got $400 of gold. So it's not a very good thing. Don't let my accountant know that, Jenny, she'll kill us. Right, so I'm trying to work out why I do this pointless hobby, why most people do hobbies that seem pointless and without purpose, and spend so much time on something that isn't necessarily productive. What is there any value as a human in that? So, Miss Kitty, can you remember any reasons why we're digging in this random, looks the same as everywhere else kind of spot to try and think that we might find gold?
It was like a cut off or something, like a corner or something. That's what I remember from yesterday. Like,
Here's a corner.
Yeah, I'm liking this.
It was. I think it was water here. Was it not?
Yeah, well, you're quite right. So over there, the river flows around Paul's massive head, and then comes around here. But this is an inside bend, and that's where the water, when it's in spate, it carries the gold when it's really heavily flowing, and then it will dump it as soon as it starts to slow down because gold is so heavy. And we noticed here there's a lot of big rocks. on an inside bend, so it started to dump it. There's an old rocks underneath there, and those tree roots. So in theory, it's a good place to start. So let's have a little dig and put it in there, classify it, and we'll pan it and see if we can get any gold out of it. Because Kitty is going insane. She's got the gold fever.
Yes.
I feel like 50. Darren is now getting rid of all the big rocks.
Chunks, because the gold
What it's called classifying.
pretty small.
So then we get the small like dust bits that have the gold in it. Bye.
Oh yeah.
Darren, you were saying you're thinking through why do you enjoy this and what is it that's about things that humans do?
It seems to have no purpose or point. Yeah.
There is a purpose to this one, I suppose, but you actually don't have an expectation you are going to find $1 million.
Yeah, you know, I love being out in nature, as most people do. It's been evidence to sort of improve people's well-being. But I also don't like doing the same walk twice.
So you don't come down to this spot all the time then, you often go different
No,
spots?
I do come here a lot, but I think that's what addresses it, is that there's kind of a purpose and it's different each time if I'm doing something. So I'm not just sitting in nature or walking through it. I'm actually doing something while I'm here, and it makes me feel less indulgent, I guess.
Yeah.
even though I've indulged myself with spending money on everything. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting this down, this pay dirt, which I'm hoping it's pay dirt. By definition, it has some money's worth in it. I'm getting it down really low so that then you two can do the last bit. So from here, I'm going to shovel some in for you to do, Paul, some in for you to do, Miss Kitty, and we'll get it right down, and then we'll pull it back and see if we've got anything. Do you want to do a couple of sifts like that?
Go on, Kit, you do it.
You've got the big one, remember? So it's quite difficult.
So has there been a lot? Have you done much research into this topic around why we do what we do?
A little bit, but only more to sort of navel gaze with myself to work out why the hell am I bothering doing this pointlessness.
And this is one of the chapters in your book, isn't it?
Well, it will be now. And I think half of it, Paul, I guess, is that you've got a mind full of crap, whereas you come down here and you haven't, and you can't think straight through problems and accounting and what I'm going to do next chapter in book, or helping some people out with behavioural.
There is a lot of
strategy.
research on that around creativity, though, isn't it? That when you turn your mind to other things and pointless things, you know, it's that well-known thing. You have your best ideas in the gym, in the shower, out for a run. But when you turn your mind away from something, is often when the solutions come.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, you start to engage. If you concentrate and worry and stress too much, your neurons sort of seem to fire in a short, sharp, narrow-minded way.
And really,
if you break up, hello.
That's a weird looking rock.
What did you find?
That's a weird looking rock.
Weird looking rock. That's not a rock. This is a rock. No. It's just a big yabby. With your feet.
The Bathurst stonefish.
There we go. Do you want me to finish this off? All people are going to be interested.
We're doing the reveal. The reveal. This is like what's that thing with the celebrities that wear all the
Magic Mike?
the Masked Singer, is it?
Yes.
Oh
This
God,
is bigger than
yeah.
that reveal.
Right, let's do it so Miss Kitty can see how well she's done. So there's probably a bit more. Oh, look in the corner already.
And that.
Flake of gold.
There's also that.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it shouldn't be on top like that, so I should give it another little shuffle. But it's good. Now you can see Miss Kitty's got the gold fever for something.
She has.
That's worth
She's trying to just grab it and run.
Just grab it and run.
a tiny percentage of. I like to see her run in those shoes through that river, through that mud.
So much.
But the irony is, it's magical seeing all this constellation of specks of gold
There's more.
coming out from this dirt. That was just dirt in the middle of nowhere. There we go. So I don't know if you can make any of that.
Is this an
out.
advert for your new gold digging tourism business, Daz, really?
Yes. No, it's just it's good fun, and this is like getting a scratch card.
How much is that?
Like you know you're going to lose overall.
Just give you a pile of mud at the server for $1.
But yeah, there we go. That's what Miss Kitty got. There's probably 15 bits of fly poop in there. I don't know if that can really focus in. Let me see if we're seeing it. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, just out of this dirt, out of muck, there's grass.
Yeah.
But it's not really worth it. I mean, there is that fun, that intrigue. You never know what you're going to get. I don't think that's what it is that attracts me to it. I mean, it's great to get it, and Miss Kitty's like gone mad.
It's like gold. Some poor bloke in 20 years.
So I'll put that in the snuffer bottle in a sec. So yeah, you got about 15 bits there from that little
I got more than 15.
Random hole.
Coming back to what you're talking about creativity, weirdly the best book I've ever read on this is actually by John Cleese of all people. John Cleese of Monty Python fame, where he literally talks about his, how he developed
the funny walk.
Scripts with Graham Chapman. He couldn't figure it out, and then he'd sleep on things, and the next day he'd come up with this brilliant punchline or brilliant ending to a sketch from Monty Python. But the more you spend thinking about something, he never got there. But the actual, when you take time away, and that's when the creativity comes.
That's it. So when you're pouring it out, leave it in the water. Let the water do the work. So shuffle it towards the front. That's lovely. That's plenty. Keep doing that. But yeah, it's weird. You can see how terrible Kitty is at it. You can see she's awful. But
it's already
I reckon another 10 pounds and she'll be a virtuoso at this.
10,000 more hours? Yeah. Or 9,998.
That's a strangely very dark bit of probably ironstone. I don't think we get sapphires around here.
I eat iron.
You eat iron?
Yeah.
What? Fortified cornflakes?
No, I'm vegetarian.
You don't have enough iron.
Oh really? You have?
I barely have it.
Well, Kitty, that was your dad's pan, and as ever, he's let us down.
There's one piece.
So, how many specks did you get?
Like, I don't know,
Like
20.
15, 20. Yeah, Paul, you've got one.
Boom.
Bit of fly poop, just there. But it's not really your fault because we gave Kitty the bottom of the barrel, which is where the heavy would have settled.
Absolutely.
So it's not entirely your fault, Paul.
Thanks, Darren. I feel better now. I was feeling really.
The thing you've heard in the bedroom a lot of time. Where's the snuffer? I've got a feeling this is going to be a good pan.
Okay.
Can you see the gingerness of the soil now? It's a bit more gingery.
A bit of ginger is something.
It's sort of more reddy yellow.
So Kitty, we were taking the mick of you earlier on about Hamilton, but your thing is, your hobby and passion is
Hamilton and
musical theatre. So about another 950 hours. That's going to cost me, isn't it?
The theatre? Darling?
You wouldn't think she's a drama queen, would you?
Well, I would, because she's your daughter. I was only joking.
So everyone has their I suppose a lot of people though, they don't actually have their thing, do they?
No.
Does that affect you if you don't have a thing, if you don't have somewhere where
it's harder to find a thing now because you can just bury yourself in 17 different streaming services.
Yeah, and social media.
Or watching people do this on YouTube, which is where I learned everything, was watching YouTube to work out how to do this. But then so many people are keyboard jockeys and it's easy to comment.
Yeah.
Just getting out.
That's a whole podcast in its own right, isn't it? Why are people so horrible online?
Yes.
It's a subject for another day because I do enjoy reading the comments about you.
Shut up.
So do I, and I don't even subscribe.
We won't mention the slug again.
Yeah, I've been trying to sit more upright in all of these ones. Refusing to film any while I'm slouched backwards in some chaise longue that you use for seducing people.
And cut.
Don't record this.
Oh, don't record this?
No, this is irrelevant, me talking about my theatrical knowledge of shushing. Darling, shush more.
Shush.
Shush. Shake it. That's it, from side to side. Lovely, up and down. So this is totally different from the things that you usually like, isn't it, Miss Kitty?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
You usually like to cook us breakfast, don't you?
Actually, I don't even have
To arm wrestle and to tell us what to do.
To show her major hobby is watching fails at the moment. Yeah. We are hoping to get a fail here where you fall over.
Can you see there's hardly any grain or, you know, dirt? So all of the little bits we want have gone through. That's brilliant. Well done. Little fleck just then. So I washed it over a bit.
Yeah, I thought I took this as well. Dad, we saw a fleck. Leaving. No, leaving.
Oh. Oops.
I'm doing the job. Oh no. Put some rocks in to keep it down.
I will help. I'm just gonna.
So this is you not trusting my panning technique.
Yes, definitely.
I like that. Yeah, backseat driver of panning.
So what do we find?
Well, we'll go and have a look at, we'll have a reveal of how many specks of gold you got.
But I say we would have found 50.
50?
Yeah.
I reckon more like 100. But
100 altogether.
I never exaggerate. I've told you a million times. I never exaggerate. But, and the other thing, I found myself, Paul. I found myself. No, but thinking about it, because I hadn't really thought about it before, why I spend so much time doing this when I can. And I think it's because my mind is full. It's that thing you were saying about going to sleep or doing something totally different. This is a mindful practice. Like I look at over there, there's about 2,000 little fly things buzzing around on the surface and listening to the water and just chilling out.
Yeah.
Because do you think like prehistoric humans had to go off, sit down in a room and try and be mindful or meditate? They probably didn't. They probably just did this sort of thing. Because we know that they only generally, modern hunter-gatherers only sort of work for 17, 18 hours a week. So it's not like they were constantly doing it. We're a lot more intense and busy now. And it just unravels the brain a bit. It's a mindful practice, I think, is why I love it so much, rather than the gold. Although the gold
I love the gold.
You're so shallow. Try and avoid these bits that hold it up. Just do it in the open water up there. So we're now going to do skimming, swallows and amazons.
Oh, Ben, my one is.
Show your age of that reference, mate.
I'm always boasting. Yeah. Right, Paul. Oh, it was a massive jump.
Too big a jump.
It was impressive, its leap. Now, do you know how to do the skimming?
No.
Yeah?
You're not going to use that, are you?
Let's see how many you get. What are the bets? 5? Oh, it wasn't bad. A backhand skim. It's an unusual technique.
All right, let's see the master.
Like the Finsbury flop, but it kind of works.
I don't know what else to use.
Let's see the master.
Well, I haven't done it for a while.
Oh, here he goes. Excuses already.
Yeah, as always.
I haven't done it in a while. 20.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
That's about 38.
I thought I was a big flop after the first big bounce. I thought this is going to be as bad as Paul's, but luckily nothing ever is.
Can I try again?
Your total. So we're going to reveal to Kitty how much we got. I guess this is from 6 big pans worth down there. And this is what she can take back to Queensland. So I've spread it out so it looks more. But and your curiosity to see how much we got, I think shows the weird attractiveness of that lot is probably worth 1 cent or 2 cents if you put it together. So Miss Kitty, do you want to come over and see how much you've got to take back? So you reckon 50 dots?
Oh, I already looked at it.
Go on then, yeah, go and have a look.
That's going to be like 80?
I reckon that's nearer to 200 and I'm going to make you count more now and miss your flight because you spent so long counting them. Look there. Back in the
It seems
light.
like way more gold. I feel like it's way more gold.
Yeah, I think you'd be surprised if you added that up. Might be 150. There we go. All right. Well, I hope you had a jolly nice time doing something completely pointless.
Bye! If you like this video, make sure you follow us on YouTube as Budge. And subscribe.
And where else?
On LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Boom.
Bye.
Oi, Budge!